You know, I've been a Sega fan since I was 4 years old. And during the last 19 years of loving this company, I've come to realize that Sega is in a bit of a revolving door. I've been here for the highest of highs, the lowest of lows, and even the mediocre times. And if one thing is always certain, if Sega's going in one direction, they will eventually pivot and go in the other direction. And that is the problem with Sega. Sega, Sega, Sega. You know, I can't tell you guys I didn't see this coming because, well, frankly, I 100% did see this coming, and I predicted it. Hey Slayers, I'm the one and only world's coolest Sega enthusiast, Sega Slayer 64, and welcome back to another episode of, well, not another episode of anything, because unfortunately, today, I have to make a video I never thought I was going to have to make again. That's right, we're bringing back one of my oldest series today, The Problem with Sega, and this is The Problem with Sega 4, because, unfortunately, Sega has decided, you know what would be fun? You know what would be goated? If I was a scumbag company, yet again! And here we are. Basically, okay, so to bring you guys up to speed, right? Someone by the name of Wario64 put out a Blue Sky message, and I want to say thank you to Casper the Mario Forever fan for bringing this to my attention. But they put out a Blue Sky message, basically showing that Sonic the Hedgehog 1 and 2, the Christian Whitehead ports on Android, have an end of service screen, letting us know that Sega will be delisting the game soon. I'll put the original Blue Sky post up on the screen, but basically it says end of service. Support for this game will be discontinued, but you can continue playing offline. If you'd like to learn more about great Sega games to play, please check the link below. And this basically means the game is being delisted. It's done, it's over with, it's finished, right? And like I said, I can't say I'm surprised. Basically, not too long ago, I can't remember if it was like a year or two ago, I want to say 2023, I'll put the original year up on a screen, Sega announced that they would be starting to delist Sega Forever games. And I said back then, when they made that announcement, that they would be delisting Sega Forever games from mobile, I said, it's only a matter of time before they get to the Sonic 1 and 2 ports. It's only a matter of time. Now, at the time, those two were exempt, so everyone was like, oh, well, you know, as long as Sonic 1 and 2 are kept up there, everything would be fine. But nope, I knew it. I knew this day would come, and here it is. And you know, I don't hear anyone talking about this because I feel like it's a much bigger deal than people are making it out to be. How just generally scummy this is from Sega. It genuinely makes me sick to my stomach because this is screwing over all of the people who've decided to buy the no ads. I can't remember if it was 99 cents. Hey, so quick clarification from editor Sega Slayer here. In the video going forward, you're going to hear me refer to the no ads cost as being $4.99, and I'm also going to say something about how Sega could have relisted the game for that $4.99 price. The no ads was not $4.99. I don't know what I'm thinking. Maybe it used to be. I don't know why I remember that, but it's not. It's actually $2, $1.99 to get the game ad free. So if you want to pay a $2.92, that's how you could have gotten the ad free. The same message applies. Everything I said still applies. It's just I had the $4.99 wrong. So like when I say Sega could have relisted the game for $4.99 and just sold it at a flat price, just think $1.99 in your head, because I said $4.99, but I meant $1.99. But yeah, back to the video. But in my mind, I want to say it's $4.99.
That is not correct.
I don't know. I'm probably wrong. It's one of those, right? But basically, you could pay to remove the ads that were on these apps, and that's just over now. These apps will be offline, they will be delisted from the Google Play and App Store, and you will have no way to play these ever again, screwing over all of the people who paid hard-earned money that they earned for the ads, right? And the decision by Sega to do this is frankly just baffling to me. I genuinely can't understand it, because I'm gonna be real, this is Sonic 1 and 2, it probably cost them absolute pennies to run these games, if that. I mean, they are getting paid by by having the ads on here, and these are some of their most popular games on the Google Play Store. So I frankly cannot understand what they were thinking by doing this, or what the logic behind this can be, other than some scummy thing that I'll get to in a later part of the video. But I just genuinely, I feel terrible for, more than anyone else, Christian Whitehead and his team, because those guys did some phenomenal work on both of these games, as you know. For those of you out there who don't know Christian Whitehead, which if you're a Sega / Sonic fan, I have absolutely no idea how you don't know Christian Whitehead. But Christian Whitehead was the guy behind, well, the Sonic 1 and 2 ports, and then later on, Sonic Mania. His work was so good that Sega decided to officially license these games and put them up on the Google Play Store. And obviously, you know, Sonic Mania. And he did some absolute phenomenal work on these games, and he's getting screwed over because you just will not be able to completely play these anymore. You will not be able to play. Once these games are gone, that's it, right? There's no other way to access these Whitehead games. And by the way, they're still up on the Google Play Store and App Store, so if you want to grab them now, go ahead and, you know, do that. I'll try to post the link down in the description or whatever for you to go get these games while they're still up. But he's getting screwed over now because these games are just gone. You won't be able to play them. And we as the consumers are getting screwed over because these games are being completely delisted. And obviously, if you're on Android, you can still get an APK or whatever, but if you're on Apple, these games are just completely done. They're gone. It's over. And it's just another example of Sega being super anti-consumer in these recent days, and it genuinely makes me sick. And the only reason, guys, I could think that Sega would be doing something like this is they're either about to try to push their crappy Sonic Origins, they're either trying to push a crappy Sonic Origins port to Android, or they just want to push some other type of form of monetization of these games, and it's probably not going to be the Christian Whitehead versions, which sucks because his versions were by far the absolute best versions of these games. And frankly, it just makes me sick because I feel like there were so many better ways to go about this. One, I maintain that frankly the server cost that Sega might be, quote unquote, and I'm doing air quotations but you can't see it, the server cost that Sega might be undergoing with this is probably literally pennies to them. I'm being dead serious. It probably costs them nothing to host these games. They don't have complex online services. There's not complex online multiplayer. It is literally just Sonic 1 and 2 with ads. Like, that's literally it, right? That's literally it. It's Sonic 1 and 2 with ads, and you can pay to remove the ads. I highly doubt it costs Sega anything to run these games. That's number one. And number two, let's say the costs were somehow high. Let's say it was costing Sega, I don't know, a few $1,000, maybe a few $100,000 to keep these games up on the Google Play Store and App Store, which, again, highly doubt, but let's just say it was, right? Then why not transition to a charge model, right? Sure, you want to take the games offline, that's fine, but why do you got to delist them? Why can't you just sell them for a flat fee? I don't know, $4.99? I'd pay $5 for Sonic 1 and 2 on mobile. To Christian Whitehead ports specifically, these same ports for online, for no ads, and getting the full features of the game, I'd pay the $5 for it. I'd pay it. Really, I think these games should be 99 cents. It's Sonic 1 and 2. But I gotta be realistic here and realize that this is a company and that, you know, things are expensive and prices blah, 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 blah. They want money, okay? But I and a lot of other people would probably be willing to pay $5 for each of these games, right? And that would also not be screwing over the original consumers who paid you to remove the ads, as all they've done now is just paid for the game. Like, the purchase they already made still counts. They still have the game. They still have all the same features. All they've done was just paid for the game. So that doesn't screw them over. And as for the people who were playing the game free, you guys aren't getting screwed over, because as someone who was playing the game for free, which I didn't always play them, but whenever I did play them, playing them for free, you aren't getting screwed over, because it is literally a privilege to play these games for free. It's a privilege. It's not a right. We get a privilege to play these games for free. And I know what I'm gonna get in the comments. Oh, these are Sega's titles. They have every right to delist them, blah, 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 blah.
We do not care.
It's anti-consumer. They have no reason to delist these 35-year-old games, and they're doing it on Sonic's 35th anniversary. Genuinely, I can't believe Sega. I'm genuinely sick with them. I'm tired of this crap. I'm tired of the things they do. I try to always give this company the benefit of the doubt, and whenever I do, they go and they stab me in the back. It's like, the problem with Sega is that they are a revolving door, right? Whenever they are low and they're not making that much money and their series aren't really popping off, they're on the ground groveling, and they want to be the most pro-consumer company ever, giving us Sega Forever titles, putting consumer-friendly things in their games, making their games easy to mod. And then when they're on their high horse, right? When Sega starts getting on their high horse, you know, right now Sonic's popping off. Everyone's loving Sonic. Yakuza's popping off right now. Everyone's loving the Yakuza series. Persona's popping off right now. Everyone's going crazy over Persona. You know, people are talking about Sega and thinking about Sega again. The money is coming in there. Crossworlds, while it didn't fully perform to their expectations, it still sold over 1 million copies like within the first month or two. And that game's popping off, and I heard it's doing really good on consoles right now. So Crossworlds is popping off, and Sega's just been genuinely getting a bunch of good press. Crossworlds was a really awesome game. They've just been getting a bunch of good press and coverage, so they're on their high horse right now. That's when they switch over, and they want to be anti-consumer. And this is just a wave of, frankly, pure anti-consumer things they've been doing recently. If you're anywhere in the RGG space or the Yakuza space like I am, you know that a couple things have been going wrong with the RGG games, and I call the studio RGG. I've heard some people call it RGS, which whatever you want to call it. I'm not about to pronounce the actual name. I'll put the studio picture up on screen for you to see. You know what I'm talking about. The guys who make the Yakuza games, the guys who make my GOAT Judgment and Lost Judgment, and they publish a lot of games for Sega in general, but most of them are like Yakuza and stuff. A lot of controversy have been going on with their games too. Yakuza 1 and 2 recently also got delisted on Steam, the original versions, for absolutely no reason other than Sega just wanting to be anti-consumer, as well as another game they developed, Virtua Fighter 5, the newest Virtua Fighter 5 on PC. That game has also had some really garbage anti-cheat trash added into the game, and it's broken the game for Linux users, basically made it unplayable, especially if you were playing the game on Steam Deck, but the game is still currently listed as being playable on Steam Deck, despite the fact it is not playable on Steam Deck, but was playable on Steam Deck before Sega added in this absolute garbage. So whenever they get on their high horse and they're riding high, Sega turns into the absolute worst company of all time. And this revolving door has been going on for so freaking long now. I've been a Sega fan since I was 4 years old. That means I turned 23 in April. So 19 years of my life has been dedicated to this company. And I've seen them from the lowest of lows, and I've seen them from the highest of highs. And no matter where they're at, Sega always decides to either be the most pro-consumer company ever, or the most anti-consumer company ever. They can't decide, they can't choose, and frankly, this is just disgusting. I'm sick of it. I'm sick and tired of this revolving door. I think that is probably far the biggest problem with Sega today, is the revolving door of being super pro-consumer when you need your fan base, and you need to come, and you need to grovel to your fan base to buy your games because you're going through hard financial times. But once things get good, you turn on your fan base and you spit in our face. Sega, the thing about Sega is they have by far the most pro-consumer track record of any company, video game company today. I dare you to challenge me to find a AAA company with a better consumer record than Sega. Because it certainly ain't Nintendo, it certainly ain't Sony, it certainly ain't Activision, it certainly ain't EA. It might be Microsoft, but the thing about Microsoft is you could argue they're anti-consumer to the people who actually support them by buying their consoles, by doing all the crap that they actually do with exclusives and stuff, right? So there's a double argument you can make for Microsoft that they're both pro-consumer and anti-consumer depending on how you're looking at it. But with Sega has one of the most pro-consumer track records of any company, and whenever they get on the high horse though, they just decide to throw that away and say, screw the consumer, I don't care about the consumer, I'm going to do everything in my power to screw them over. So this is just screwing over the consumer, it's screwing over the people who bought the games, it's screwing over Christian Whitehead and his team, as these won't be accessible anymore. And like I said, I maintain that Sega is 100% just doing this crap so they can push a crappy version of Sonic Origins on mobile that no one wants, since they've been releasing full games. If you don't remember, they released like a full version of like Alien Isolation, and they've talked about releasing more console level quality games on mobile coming up soon. So my best bet is here in the next couple months, right, when Sonic Central comes around, there might be an announcement for Sonic Origins, the mobile port. For $10 you get all of these Sonic games, blah 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 blah, but those are not the Whitehead versions, and now those versions that people love are just going to be gone, delisted. And I'm Android myself. I've always been a pro Android guy, I always will will be an Android guy for the freedom, and I just think Android devices are better in general. But for my colleagues, I say colleagues, but for my acquaintances and friends over there in Apple world, right, you're just cooked. You're done. You will not be able to play these games anymore. So if you don't have them stored on your iPhone, you better go download them now. They're gone. For us on Android, we still will have APKs, but Google's been talking about stopping that soon enough with the newest versions of Android. So who freaking knows, right? Who knows how that's gonna end up? But like, Sega, I'm just genuinely disgusted with you. This is super anti-consumer. I have spent so long shilling for you, and I you know, despite calling myself the world's coolest Sega enthusiast, right, and being the biggest Sega fan ever, probably, right, I still know that an important part of being a company's fanboy that's funny the way to describe it. But the most important part of being a true company fanboy is being able to call the company out when they get on that bull crap, right? And Sega's on that bull crap right now. I'm able to call them out. I'm big enough to say, Sega, you are wrong. You're doing wrong. You're being anti-consumer, and it is really gross. The blatant anti-consumerism that you decide to embark on, you know, stuff like de Nouveau and things like that. Whenever you get on your high horse because you're making money and Sonic's popular, it frankly just disgusts me, right? And of course, I'm a Sega fan. I'm going to keep on supporting the company. I'm not sitting here saying, let's boycott Sega, because no, I'm not going to boycott Sega. I know I'm not going to boycott Sega. Once Stranger Than Heaven comes out, don't contact me for 4 weeks, because that's all I'm going to be doing with my time, okay? So, I know that I'm not boycotting Sega. I'm still going to support them. But this is frankly just disgusting, and I'm tired of it. I'm tired of the blatant anti-consumerism, and I haven't heard really anyone talking about this. No one in the Sega universe, no one in the Sonic universe, as you know, I'm both a Sega/Sonic fan, and I always separate the two, because, you know, but like, I haven't heard anyone talking about this. All stretches of the Sega community, I don't care if you're an Atlas fan, I don't care if you're an RGG, Yakuza, Judgment, you know, all that stuff fan, I don't care if you're a Virtual Fighter fan, I don't care if you're a Sonic fan, I don't care if you're a Jet Set Radio fan, whatever parts of the Sega community that you are part of, right, we all need to get out and start speaking about this, right? We all need to. I don't care if you're a retro Sega fan, whatever type of Sega fan you are, we need to get out and start speaking about this, because we cannot let Sega keep getting away with this. It is blatant anti-consumerism, and it is frankly disgusting, and I'd argue that blatant anti-consumerism is the biggest problem with Sega today. Okay, guys, I'm sorry. I know this was a little bit of a rant, but I'm frankly sick of Sega doing this anti-consumer crap when they get on their high horse. It's a revolving door. Whenever they don't need us and they're riding high, they decide they could just bend us over and screw us a million times over.
What? Bro, what are you talking about, man?
And we are just supposed to sit here and take it because, well, hey, we're Sega. What are you gonna do? Buy a Nintendo game? And when they need us, then when they need us again, they come and they grovel at our feet and they try to be the most pro-consumer guys ever. Oh, here, have some Sega Genesis games. Here's a couple Dreamcast games, please. Oh, you can mod our games easily. No anti-cheat here because we're pro-consumer. Blah, 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 blah. It's frankly sickening. And Sega, if you're gonna be like this, if this is gonna be you going forward, everyone, we need to be truthful with ourselves. As Sega fans, we need to be truthful and say that Sega is not a pro-consumer company. They are just a pro-circumstantial company. And that means when the circumstances fit them, they are not pro-consumer, and when the circumstances aren't fitting them, they are pro-consumer. That's what we really need to start saying about Sega, because saying Sega is blatantly the most pro-consumer company just isn't true anymore when they are actively out here engaging in the most anti-consumer policies possible. I'm sorry, this video is getting kind of long. I've been ranting. Look, if you're new here, if you could subscribe, that'd be really awesome. We're trying to reach 3,000 subscribers. You'd be helping us out a lot. Make sure to join the Discord, the 64 Nights Discord community. It's a shared Discord server between me and my partner, Midnight Ricochet. That's my boy, my YouTube partner. Yeah, you know, make sure to subscribe, all that good stuff. Share with a friend, drop a like, it helps out the channel quite a lot. And yeah, until next time, make sure to have a great day, great night, or great anytime. Have a good one, Slayers. And Sega, please, please, please do better. I do not want to have to come back here and make a problem with Sega's 5. But you know what? I probably will have to do so. So yeah, do better, Sega.